Good morning, friends. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about something that has been an adjustment, and you know it's an adjustment for me, especially over the last year and a half in my life, and it's adjusting to smaller meals so that nothing goes to waste. Let's talk. I have to continually laugh at myself because after all these years, I still question, am I going to have enough today? Like, we're going to make this loaf of bread right here, and I'm thinking, should I double it? Is that going to be enough? It's like, that's a constant thing that lingers in my mind. Because for so many years, my goal was always the same. Make enough, make extra, make sure everyone has plenty. And those habits just don't disappear overnight. My family looks different now. Even doing these dishes, there's only a small amount from the entire day yesterday. But the one thing that's never changed is my love for cooking and creating a home. It never has. So how did cooking become part of my identity? Well, as a stay-at-home mom, it was a huge part of my life. Now, when I first started out and we were first married, I remember the mindset of eating like I did when I lived at home. And that was, my mom would always get the Schwan truck. Anybody else remember the Schwan truck? Okay, the Schwan truck was great, and they had those little stuffed chicken, the good chicken that was already cooked, and it had all the good foods. And I remember going grocery shopping one time, and this was way back in the 90s, like 95 we got married, so way back then. And I remember my grocery bill was $250 for a week. Like, what? I don't know. Could I spend it now? You probably could now. Yes, you probably could now if you ate like if you had to buy from scratch everything. So, but for not just 2 people, 3 people, it's like you could do that for a whole lot of people. And so my mind has always been around food. It's become part of who I was. So after those few times of, wow, food is very expensive, and then the realization that, you know what, my husband was constantly working. He was working and learning and reading and studying and wanting to better himself in his field of work of, machinery and tool making and designing. I thought to myself as a stay-at-home mom, I'm like, I want to be the best stay-at-home mom as I could. So how do I do that? Like, how do you become all those things? So I went to our local library and looked up books on homemaking, housekeeping, there wasn't really stay at home, it was like homemaking is with the books, and there were a lot of older books. And so I remember reading like Hints from Heloise. That was just one I remember. I remember finding, like managers of their home books. This was before the influencers started writing, like managers of home way back in the day books, like old books, and just reading through and going, okay, and thinking through all the things that they talked about, like how to be more efficient, how to have a routine, how to have all those things. And so for food, it was the same way, how to stretch your meals, how to, make this so nothing goes to waste. So that was like a first step into learning how to make food part of like my whole entire life. So I learned a few things, cooked a few meals, burned a few things, and just got along with what I could find. My mom would always get she had a beauty shop, so she would get the Women's Day magazines, Family Circle, so she would constantly cut out recipes, like all the time. And then The Taste of Home, those things, so she would give those to me, so I'd be like, sure, let me try them. So I'd have all these different recipes for every night of the week, different ones to try. And then learning that, thinking I had to have this variety, and then my husband was like, I just like spaghetti. I just like tacos, can we just have simple? And in my head, I'm like, no, we're going to have something great. But I'm like, that I had to realize over time that, those simple meals were an important part of having like a nice, consistent part in our home. And then I started going to a Mennonite church because I was curious about the lifestyle. I was curious about these women that stayed at home, because in the worldly community, no one had large families. Not many, where we were at. And so I wanted to like learn, and I was like, wow. I was amazed when I went in their kitchens and watched these ladies cook, and it wasn't anything special. It was just simple meals, but they had enough for the entire family. I even watched them like cutting up bread, cutting up ham, and they would cut it real thin so that it could stretch and have enough for people. You went to church with them, and someone invited you over for dinner, or lunch after church. Someone did. And it's not that you had just one kid. We had 10 or however many we had at the time. No, we didn't have all 10. We had a lot. It wasn't like you just had one person invited. It was like a bunch of them. We had 4, right? 4, yes, 4. I was like, how many do we have? 4, 6 of us. And so they just invite you over. And they would just cut cut the meat a little bit thinner, have another loaf of bread, put out there and make it that way. And so doing that, I enjoyed so much good food that I was like, wow, they had cookbooks. And I was like, I started getting their cookbooks and I started learning how to cook like they did, learned how to can, learned how to freeze things, learned how to make breads and all those things for my family. That was like the start of like becoming homemaker, an efficient homemaker, and learning all those things. But that took time to gain those skills. That took time to learn those things, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because I learned how to cook. I learned how to cook good food. I learned how to make your food taste good. I learned how to stretch your meals for a large family. And so that was a huge part of my marriage and my role as homemaker and mom. So for me right now, like sometimes, like right now, I'm learning to just shop and get a few things that we need. If you look at my refrigerator right now, it's very bare. There's food for everybody. Everybody's gonna eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner today. But I'm learning to just make enough. Just make enough. So when I think of like, okay, but if the kids decided today, hey, I want to have our friends over, it looks like it's gonna be rainy out today, to swim, I don't have to be in a panic to go, oh, what can I make? Do we have any food? Do we have anything? My head already goes right away to, ooh, you know what I can do? I have lemonade. I can make lemonade slushies. I can make a big thing of popcorn in there. If I needed to make some food, I'd be like, you know what? I can make a big pot of soup and we could have breadsticks with it. We could do this, and this. I could, I've got already in my head all these things I can do and make so that no one would go away hungry. There'd always be something to eat. So that mindset is always there, ready to do whatever needs to be done or how to make it in your head. So, but I'm also learning like how to do just enough for my home. So adjustments, but good things to learn. So the funny adjustments are like shopping. And like right now, normally I would get a huge freezer full of food and have it full. My pantry would be full. My pasta cupboard would be full. I would have my refrigerator full. I would have all these things full, or I feel like we wouldn't be able to eat. And I had to struggle with that a little bit this month because we had other things we had to pay for. We've got expenses just like the rest of the world. And so I'm like, well, I'll just wait to do it. So in my head, a little bit of panic, a little bit where I go, okay, we're not going to have enough. We're not going to have enough. What are we going to eat? What are you going to do when you run out? We can always eat beans. I'm going through that. And then I kind of laugh because I think of now, I thought of that like last month or like a couple weeks ago. And I open up my freezer and there's still a whole lot of food. There's still so much stuff to eat. And I'm like, yeah, look at how you don't even need to worry about those things. It's like, you just can always figure something out. And then also when I go shopping, I don't always have to think about the biggest thing to get. I can always just do smaller and be okay with that. I don't need always big giant packages. I can just do a small, like when I've been shopping and getting stuff lately, I just got a couple small containers of meat and I'm like, that's enough. And that stuff is stretched for so long now. And another big thing that's funny is I don't need to make enough leftovers for the next day. And the next day used to be like, make whatever for dinner, we'd have it over for lunch the next day. So now I don't do that anymore. I'm thinking in the mindset of what are we gonna have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's it. Like yesterday I made my little smoothie bowls. You know what we're gonna have for breakfast today? Smoothie bowls, that's what we're gonna have. Lunch, I'm gonna make enough for lunch. If there's enough for tomorrow, that's okay, that's it. And dinner is just gonna be enough for dinner. So it's a different mindset. If there is any leftover, okay, great, I got a little bowl of leftovers. But I always watch those people that do those challenges where they have like leftover challenge dinner night and they literally put 5 plates of food out and they put like whatever's left over in the refrigerator and they have like 1 serving of pizza, 1 serving of tacos, 1 serving of that. And I thought, gosh, we always have like 3 or 4 servings of something left over. But this past week, I'm at that point where I have like 1 meal of this left over, 1 meal of that left over. And I'm like, all right, we're getting to that point. So we're getting there. But for me, there's something comforting about making food. Like I love that food is my love language. Like if I had a love language, I mean, I do have love languages, but you have the 5 love language, all those things. Yeah, those are great. But my one that I like to give is food. Like I love to make, my mom was like that. She loved, when you went to her house, she had everything for you to eat. You would have so much stuff to eat because that was like her love language. For me, it's the same way. And I'm learning to do a little bit less. I'm learning that we don't need to have everything, that we can have a little bit lesser things. Like now, when we do have more people coming, I used to do a huge spread of things. I'm learning to do a little bit less, still a big spread, more than most people, but not worrying so much like the excess. You know what I mean? And so having enough, and that's a good thing, but to me, that's a comforting thing because I enjoy making food. So even though we're making smaller meals, and when I do things, it's going to be much on a smaller scale, and it's a change, it's an adjustment. I think that sometimes we think that change is just leaving things behind. Like, that is my old self. I'm just going to leave it behind, but it's not. It just means I look at it differently. Yes, I'm leaving behind the large family. Yes, I'm leaving behind the large family cooking, the large family shopping. I'm doing those things. But smaller family, I can still create warm meals. I can still create memories around the table that my family and I can enjoy. And that is the key for my home. So what are we doing today? So today we're gonna have, I told you we're gonna have our little smoothie bowls for breakfast. Our last night is our later night, so we are a little bit more sleepy, and I even slept in today a little bit more. I promised Maxine a walk, so I think she thinks I forgot her and have forsaken her. So I'm gonna make bread, because you know what I got? Dun, dun, dun. I got the Pullman pan. I don't know why I've never had one of these. I have no idea. I've been making bread for years. We've always done I bought this stainless steel pan. If I love this, I'll probably get a stainless steel one because I know it's healthier for you, but just like everything, your water's poison too. So anyway, do what you can do. Don't stress, mamas. If you can't afford the stainless steel pans, it's okay. You will be just fine. They are intending to poison us with everything around you. You just trust God with what you have. But if you can afford the stainless steel, get the stainless steel. So I have stainless steel bread pans, and I had 8 of those. Used them for the longest of time. I still have them. I gave the rest to Lauren, so she'll have nice good pans that last her for years and years to come. But I have been seeing this Pullman bread pan, and I was like, okay, so I love making homemade bread, but it's not really but sometimes when you cut it, when you cut it, especially I make grilled cheese sandwiches. That's what we make with ours. We don't really eat bread as just bread as a side. We just don't do that. Right now, we eat grilled cheese. That's what kids like. But you go to cut it, you got those weird end pieces and weird things. It's just part of the way the bread dough rises or however it goes. And so I saw this online, and it literally makes this square sandwich bread loaf that you buy at the store. And I'm like, what? So I am excited to try this today. I want to say this is $11 on Amazon. You clipped a coupon and you get $11. So it'll be very interesting how it works. So it holds 2 pounds of bread dough. So I thought, why don't I get my bread dough mixing, make that, I'm going to let it rise up, and I'm going to take Maxine for her little quick walk. We're going to get her doggy walk in because I don't want her to think I've forsaken her. Get her quick doggy walk in, come back, and then it should be ready. We can put it in the pan, let it rise up, and do its thing. I'm excited to try it. So you guys know my bread recipe, or if you don't, it's right here. It is a loved bread recipe. That's why this is so dirty. So I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to do oil. I'm using vegetable oil because I have this much left and I want to use it up. So most people would not use that up, but I will. I'm not going to waste it. So let me put everything in here and we'll make bread. Did you notice Maxine watching me with her side eye when I put my shoes on? And as soon as she saw me put my shoes on, she was like, oh, mommy, are we going somewhere? So I'm gonna let this bread rise. It's gonna take a little bit of time. I've got my counters cleaned up. I already did a load of laundry. Dishes are done. I'm gonna get her for a walk. I'll be back by that time. It should be ready to be rolled up in pan. We'll see. All right, we got our walk in. So still waiting on bread dough. I'm gonna take my, I forgot about my brownies. They were in the refrigerator. I'm like, let me take those out. So they're warm to eat, and then I'm gonna take my bars, cut those up, and just kind of wrap them and put them in a bag. They're delicious. I had one yesterday. These are great. So even though there's a couple smaller, thinner ones on the edge, they'll get eaten. None of these are gonna go to waste. If you were to give these away, make them nice and perfect, but since it's just for me, I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator. They'll last forever. You don't even need to freeze them. If you wanna freeze them, go ahead, but they'll just last in the refrigerator because they're all good, clean ingredients. So I'll put those in there. Maybe each day instead of wanting like candy or sugar, I'll grab one of those to munch on because it's got the crunchy, so it satisfies the snacky, salty things, like where I want crunchy things, and it's got the sweet from the date. So great, healthy treat. The vacuum's in here, so I'll just talk for a minute. So I'm gonna take the bread, roll it like I normally do, form it into a loaf, and put it in the pan. It says to not grease the pan, so let's just see how it is. says to put it in the pan. It says you can put the lid on. Let me show you. Put the lid on just loosely. See, like, leave it open a little bit. Then what you're gonna do, I'm gonna set mine in the oven with the light on and let it rise in there because it's cooler out here because the air's on. And then it says when it gets to about 1 inch from the top, then you know it's risen enough. And then you shut the lid and bake it. So we'll see. We'll see if it's squished up the sides. I doubt it. It'll probably stand there real good. So, all right, we're gonna go put it in the oven and let it rise.
And that's starting now.
Okay, I'm a little bit behind in my lunch, but that's okay. The kids are slow moving today, so I am good with that. So I'll let that rise. I also took, you know what those are right there? Those are, what are those things called? Tostadas. They've been in my cupboard. We made crunch wraps. Those are really good. Add that to your list, Amy, crunch wraps. Crunch wraps were good. But like you buy one of those and you only use a few, and we used to put like refried beans on it, cheese, and just cook them and eat them, and I don't think this crew likes it as much as the older ones, and that's fine. So I broke them apart. I'm gonna put them in the oven on a higher bake when the bread is almost ready, and just crisp them up a little bit, sprinkle a little bit more salt on them, and then we've got salsa in the refrigerator. Hey, there's a snack, so those don't go to waste. Because I was like, it's one of those, they're not like soft or anything, but they're just, you know, when you get them warm, they'll be delicious. So just a way to not have anything go to waste, and we have salsa, so then it's like, okay, that'll be a good thing. So, and then the other thing I'll make is tomato soup. So I can put that together right now. That'll be fine. I'll wait on my bread. I want to do grilled cheese with that. I took out my butter over there, my homemade butter. We'll make grilled cheese sandwiches, which will be great with it. And have tomato soup. It's a favorite. Every kid likes it. It's a meal that never goes to waste. I only have to just make one batch though, because some days I'm like, oh, I have more. Let me make double the soup. No, don't make double the soup. Double the soup is not too much. They usually use it just for dipping, and they usually they use the soup in the small little white bowls that we have, like little tiny ones. So it's not like it's a meal or anything. Me as a child, we would get tomato soup. And I remember my girlfriend, she'd take her plastic cheese, you know, and she put a piece in the soup, and I was like, oh, that's really a neat idea. And so we did we have plastic cheese? We have Velveeta cheese. That's what we had. My mom was a Velveeta, so she'd get the block of cheese, remember, in that Tupperware thing that slid out? And then she had the cheese cutter, the roller, and we'd cut slices of cheese and have, we did that. So she would make grilled cheese. My mom would make ours. I guess I remember having it like she'd put it in the oven and cook it because it was a little crispy sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay. But I was just thinking, I'm like, but it was Velveeta though, so it had that little distinct, different taste. So my kids growing up on Sam's Club plastic cheese, they like that. It's not even plastic, just the terminology because it was wrapped in plastic at one time. And so, so if I get a bowl of soup, sometimes I put piece of plastic cheese in mine, and then sprinkle in some oyster crackers and eat. And you got a filling meal there when you're low on groceries. So let me get all that stuff out, because you can just put all that together in the pot, heat it up, and just whisk it. It's delicious. All right, I'm gonna mix this up. Kid-friendly tomato soup. It was my first, I'm pretty sure my first blog post right here. What's kid-friendly tomato soup? I think it was. I think my first one was like accountability, and it was all about, because as moms, it's like you have no one to kind of, okay, make sure that you do this today, or you stay with this. You don't have accountability very often. So especially like say weight loss, right? Like no one's saying, hey, Amy, did you eat good today? You might in the comments, or Amy, notice that you're not walking, or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think accountability was my first one, and then I believe kid-friendly tomato soup was one of my first ones, or second one, close to the first one, but they are, my website's different now because I have had it since 2016. That's a long time ago. Probably 2015, I think I started, and it had so much information on it, and it's not a website that I get any money on. I don't get any money on there. There's no ads, there's no nothing, and so it just only holds so much, and so it had to crash, and so I had to go, a lot of the old stuff got gone, and so I had to go kind of clean things up. So I've kind of just put my website now more just for homeschool stuff, because I started it for our large family and large family mama blog, but we don't post anything on it anymore. You know what I mean? There's kids and little things that I did, little tips and tricks, but it's like that I do vlogging now. It's much easier for me to talk than it is to write, I think. So anyways, but this was one that was on there. You can search, if you go in the search bar, you can type in my recipes. They should show up. There won't be any pictures, but it'll be on there. So I'm just gonna put everything in here, whisk it together. I was questioning myself. Do you ever get that menopause brain fog? I'm like, 16 ounces is 2 cups, right? Like 1 can this is 2 cups. Yes, it is. It's not a cup. So normally, sometimes I add water, sometimes I don't. If you don't, it's just a little bit thicker. Like, if you go to Panera, their tomato soup is really thick. I feel like it's that way where you just need to water it down a little bit. So I put a can in there. I said in my recipe it was use a can of water too. So, all right, let's do this. And the secret ingredient that makes everything taste amazing, bouillon, tomato bouillon. This, you want to go to Panera, eat their soup. I don't like their soup because I feel like it's just way too tomatoey, too thick. I'm like, ooh, after eating mine, I'm like, I don't even like theirs. So add a little bit, that'll give it that home style flavor. So don't get the big chunk in there, see? Like a tablespoon. Last time I think I added too much. Okay, that's it. Just a little bit of yum. Same thing with chicken bouillon. Add a little bit of yum. It makes your food taste great. So this, just heat it up, whisk it. It's not clumpy, it's not anything. Back in the day, I think I wrote my recipe. In a saucepan, combine flour, sugar, baking soda, make a paste, and then smooth it all. You just mix it all together. It does the same thing. Okay, tomato soup, delicious here. So what I'm learning is this season, it may change. Like I might make smaller meals and things are gonna look a lot different, but like I can still make wonderful meals that are filled with a lot of love and a lot of good memories. Like my kids are always gonna remember Mom's grilled cheese and tomato soup that we've had forever, you know what I mean? And so just smaller size. So even though this, I'm like, do I make some more to have a little bit more tomorrow? I'm like, nope, that's okay. We're gonna keep it low, so we just have a little bit. So this will be great, this is perfect. Like I took a taste when I whisk it and it tastes perfection. Perfection. If you want it thicker, don't add the extra can of soup. You can just leave it this way. So this will be delicious. Bread is still gonna rise. So what I think I'm gonna do is dinner. Again, dinner is going to be a comforting thing. I was like, okay, how much do you do? What do you do? So we have a lot of orzo. We have a lot of orzo pasta. I have a lot of Parmesan cheese. And so they like it. They love couscous. They love orzo. And so I don't make it enough because I always make it as a side. So today is a night that we are gone again. And so just a couple are gone. So I'm thinking I'm going to do an orzo chicken broccoli casserole. Remember how we used to make it with the noodles all the time? I think they grew tired of that. But now I'm going to put it in the orzo phase and do this pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing, but it absorbs it, so it's a little bit thicker. So I'll make it now. When you go to eat it, orzo absorbs everything. So if it's drier, you just add a little bit of chicken broth to it. It'll like soften it and make it good and just kind of reheat it, and then you're good. So let me get that stuff out. Okay, so for this recipe, I'm gonna do mine, just base it off what I have. And so I'm gonna take butter in here, and I'm gonna take 2 cups of orzo, and I'm gonna brown it because we like it that way. Oh, think of like rice-a-roni. Was it rice-a-roni? Remember how you take wasn't it vermicelli? Is vermicelli orzo? I should look that up. Put that in there and let that brown with some butter. You can smell the nutty flavor. It smells good. So just do that so it's a little bit brown. You don't have to do a ton. Then what I'm gonna do is add in broccoli and chicken. This is leftover chicken chunks. Yep, it's leftover. So I'm gonna heat that up with this broccoli. When did broccoli become so, like, look at it, like, from Walmart, it's literally a solid head of broccoli. Like, I don't remember it ever getting frozen solid like that. So let me let this heat up here. Thaw so I can kind of smash it. What should I have not done? I should have taken the orzo out. I was just thinking that, I'm like, that probably wasn't a smart choice. So keep your eye on it so it doesn't burn. I know I gotta let it thaw a little bit. I could add the liquid and kind of smash it that way. You can do that too. I guess it doesn't really matter. If it's gonna burn, add a little bit of liquid and then just let it cook just so it kind of heats up because it is frozen broccoli in there. I'm like, it's okay. And then the ingredients I'm gonna add, so if you do 2 cups of orzo, you're gonna do like triple the amount of liquid. So I'm gonna add in chicken bouillon with water, and I'm gonna add milk into mine to make it creamy. I think that'll be really good. And then I'll add in there basil, garlic, pepper seasoning, and then I also have this nutritional yeast. This gives it a dairy-free cheesy taste. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that in there. We used to cook with it all the time. I forget, it's in my refrigerator. And then I'll add, when we go to serve it, I'll put in Parmesan cheese. It's good that way. As long as it doesn't burn. All right, we'll cook this. I think I'll be okay. I gotta get the broccoli not frozen. coming together. I have a little bit of garlic still left from when I did all my garlic. I took all the garlic, peeled garlic from Sam's Club, put it in my slow cooker, and then let it just kind of boil with olive oil. And I have like roasted garlic. It's delicious. So it looks good. I was looking at it, I'm like, is that gonna be enough? You know, you question yourself. Question. Too much, not enough. And then even the chicken, it's a little small amount of chicken, but that little bit of chicken, I just would have thrown it away. So now looking at it going, yeah, that was pretty good to save it. So I'm going to, let me see, make sure I did add 4 cups of liquid. So I'll have to add my milk too, but I'm gonna try it. I want a couple more chunks of broccoli. I just want to smash down. So let's get like these big chunks. They were just frozen. Okay, here I'm gonna add my 2 cups of milk. I think I want milk, right? We don't usually add milk to this to make it creamy, but I think that'll be a really good dish. I think that's actually gonna be great. This one's good. Forget this stuff. I love creating stuff out of nothing, especially no matter if I have a whole bunch of kids or just a little bit of kids. So like I said, we're doing things different for groceries. Normally by now I've like already filled my pantry back up, and I'm like, well, let's get creative making things. So this is gonna be great, the creamy one. I guess I've never added the milk in there. So I think this is gonna be good. Okay, I tasted it, I'm like, what does it need? I normally want to add more chicken broth bouillon, but I'm like, let me just add salt. And I did. That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my goodness, it tastes really good. So now I will let this simmer. You let it, like, it's gonna boil a little bit. So you turn it down, simmer so it's not everywhere. And then when we go to serve it, it's gonna sit for a while because it's only 11. We're not gonna eat till probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then I will just make sure I heat it back up, maybe a little bit of chicken broth in there if I need to. And then I'll put Parmesan cheese stirred up, and that's gonna be delicious. And that'll be a yummy, yummy dinner. Okay, so come over here for the bread. So, do you see how it is right underneath the lid? Oh yeah, that's like a little too high even. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. Oh, is it touching? It is. It's touching. It is touching. Okay, so I have to preheat my oven. That's bad, I can feel it, what a drag. I'm gonna set this out, turn the oven on, and I'll put this in the oven and bake it. Baking, I'll put these in and let that heat up. So I Googled, I'm like, is it bad to just let it cook? It said it can ooze out. So I'm gonna like punch it down, kind of mix it all back up again, let it rise up, but it won't take too long. The oven's already on. And then pay better attention, it was like 20 minutes. It wasn't even a half hour, so let me do that. I'm gonna set my timer for like 10 minutes and then check it. I shut this off right here. See how it's still liquidy? Because we're not gonna eat it right now. That is gonna absorb in there. Sometimes I would even put Parmesan cheese in it right now, but what I'm gonna do is wait till we go to eat it today, and then I'll add that. So doing the bread, we'll get the bread dough here in a minute, and then so kids will be ready for sandwiches soon. I gotta get my bread made. All right, kids are down here. So the bread, I put it in the oven. It was a little bit, it had about 1.5 inches from the top. So I'm put it in 350 for a half hour. We'll see how it does. They say the orzo is amazing, very, very delicious. We got the little chip things. They're really good. I just put a little bit more salt on them. They're nice and crispy. And I've got a little bit of salsa if anybody wants that out here. So we're gonna go do our Bible study and all our little fun afternoon stuff. There. Oh, look at that. Super excited. Hold on 1 second. Bread. Look at it. So you guys have perfect grilled cheese. Sorry, I had to film that. All right, we were in the middle of Bible study, so I had to do my bread real quick. Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure if when I took if the lid would come off. I kind of, because it got a little bit of dough on it, so it was kind of stuck, and I'm like, is it gonna stick to it? But you take it out before it cools. Don't let it cool in there because it gets soggy. Look at the bread. That is perfect. I did 37 minutes. I'll probably do 40 minutes for sure next time, but look at how awesome. So we are gonna let this cool. And then we're gonna let this cool right now because we're gonna do a walk and chores and that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna make it slice it into bread so we can have sandwiches. And I'll make grilled cheese and we've got our soup. So this is awesome. So I'm super excited for this. So look at it. Didn't stick at all. It had, like I said, it did on the top because that was the first batch of the rising. So I think this is gonna be a winner. All right, these little tostada things are like good thick chips, so yay on that. So we've had a great day today. So I'm enjoying the new season. The new season is, like, I didn't make a lot of food today. This is just very minor, but like it's a full day. My new season is like, we're having our Bible study together. We're doing our devotion time together. We're gonna go for a walk right now, and then we're gonna go swimming right now, and then come back and just enjoying that fellowship. It's just it's a good, beautiful thing. I love new phase of life. It's like every season's got something enjoyable. So, you know, you've seen let's do the sandwiches. Let's show the prep of the sandwiches. Your clothes will turn like a nice red. Is definitely some time. In the drawer. Okay, so if you see Jensen, Maddie, all right, grilled cheese, looking delicious. Look at, they turned out great, perfect squares, and the soup is super thick, nice and thick. So for the rest of our day is going to be complete. So we've got a busy afternoon that we will enjoy together. And I made food. Everybody had a smoothie bowl for breakfast, so that was enjoyable. And they've been grabbing little chips, dipping it in the salsa here. And we're going to have the sandwiches, grilled cheese and soup for lunch. And then the orzo. They've already started sneaking in the orzo, getting forks. I'm like, kids, that's dinner. But it's that good. So I think that's going to be on my list to make more. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. So, and then we got brownies that we haven't touched yet. So that'll be a delicious treat to eat. So I think that's what I'm learning in this season, that even though I feel like I'm losing things, I'm losing the quantity of food, but I'm not losing the quality of what makes it special. I'm still gonna enjoy grilled cheese sandwiches with my kiddos today. We're gonna have beautiful sandwiches, beautiful times of fellowship around the table. So it's not so much I make a ton and I love to feed all my kids all the good food. It's just smaller, but the quality of the time that we're spending together. New season. So beautiful things. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Another video. All right, bye.